Welcome to another edition of the post-game wrap. I'm Jared Johnson, and 49-0 Texas Tech shut out West Virginia. It was actually the first shutout for the Mountaineers since 2013, first home shutout since 2001, and according to at least a couple of publications, it's thought to be the worst loss for West Virginia since the early aughts of the 1900s. Like 1903 or 1904, something like that. Long time ago. So, historic loss for West Virginia and historic victory for Texas Tech, though the Red Raiders already had the spot in the Big 12 championship clinched. The 11th win matches the program record for most wins in a season, matching 1953, 1973, and 2008. Now, 2025 and 2008 are the only seasons that Texas Tech accomplished that in the regular season. Of course, the Red Raiders will take on BYU in the Big 12 Championship, 11 a.m. Central Time, next Saturday at Jerry World. So a lot going on for the Red Raiders, but let's start with this game. Let's talk about this game. I mean, really, the game, it was over in the first quarter. It felt like it was over. Before the first quarter ended. Texas Tech got out to a 21-0 lead in that first quarter, 28-0 at halftime. I think they outgained West Virginia something like 351 to 100, and not very much. I can't remember exactly what it was, but West Virginia didn't have a first down for at least till the second quarter, and Texas Tech had already scored 3 touchdowns. Overall for the game, the Red Raiders outgained West Virginia 572 to 180. The rushing for most of the game, Texas Tech was above 4 yards per carry, and West Virginia was under 1 yard per carry. They got a couple of big plays against Texas Tech backups and freshmen late in the game, but they still only finished with 37 rushing yards. Total domination by Texas Tech. I want to circle back, but another important aspect to this game were a couple of injuries. David Bailey went out in the first half. I had heard that it was more of a precaution, but we'll have to get an update on him. Haven't seen the post-game presser out in Morgantown yet. Haven't heard from Coach McGuire on that, but we'll have that, of course, on Inside the Red Raiders. Mitch Griffiths also had somebody fall on his leg, that play where they ruled a fumble. It looks like a knee injury, but he was at least walking around, riding a bike, stuff like that. Besides, Lloyd Jones Jr. came in and threw a couple of touchdown passes to Micah Hudson, his first 2 touchdowns of his Red Raider career. In fact, Lloyd Jones III, his first pass attempt at the college level was a touchdown to Micah's first touchdown catch. So that's some pretty cool history there to make with those 2 guys after the game was already, well decided. But Barron played a really good game. 25, he always seems to play, except for once when he got hurt, play a really good game against West Virginia. 25 for 32 for 310 yards and 3 touchdowns. I already mentioned Lloyd Jones, 4 for 5 for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cam Dickey was solid. He had 12 carries for 79 yards. He went over 1,000 yards on the season. Great accomplishment for him. He averaged 6.6 yards per carry today against West Virginia. He also caught a touchdown pass too, so that was nice. When he was lined up as a receiver in an empty set. And I posted this on the board during the game, but is there a better running back duo in terms of as receivers? I mean, they're very good runners as well, but just as receivers, Jacoby is outstanding receiver, and Cam Dickey has been very good as a receiver, mostly out of the backfield, but he split out wide today. Barron found him in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. So those 2 are just really good football players. Speaking of Jacoby, he had 15 carries for 60 yards and a score. Just a couple of catches for 11 yards. I think he did have a couple of punt returns as well. Let me look that up real quick for you. Yeah, he had 1 punt return for 5 yards. I felt like it was more than that, but overall, very solid game for Jacoby. That guy's just seems to. I've never seen him have a bad game. Jacoby is just a heck of a football player. As for the receivers, Terrence Carter, man, that one-handed catch, I think it was a drag route, something like that, coming across the middle of the field. He made a one-handed catch on the fly while running full speed, and still got yards after the catch. Terrence Carter is just a heck of a football player, and he makes this offense so much more dynamic. 10 catches for 98 yards. I believe that was all in the first half. I might be mistaken on that. Caleb Douglas had an injury scare. I think he just fell on the ball, but terrific game. 5 catches, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. And again, he did play in the third quarter because he had a big play in the third quarter, but most of the first team offense, including Caleb, was shut down early or midway through the third. Let's see. I'm trying to, like I said, Micah, those 2 catches for 45 yards and a score. That was really great to see. And then a bunch of, 9 different receivers caught passes. Coy had 3 for 28, but it was really TC and then CD for Texas Tech. Terrence Carter and Caleb Douglas with, mixing in the running backs a little bit here or there, and then Micah later on. So the offense was just terrific. Defensively, West Virginia had 180 yards, 143 passing, 37 rushing yards. They were 2 for 13 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth down. They were shut out. Trying to think about all the turnovers. I know Pollock got 1. Amir Boyd got 1 in a long return as well. Let me see exactly what they were here. Yeah, 2 interceptions. Tech had 4 sacks and 9 tackles for loss. So, the offensive line did give up 4 sacks. At least one of those were Barron's fault. But you still like to see them eat it instead of do, say, what Mitch Griffiths did. We tried to get the ball out. They rolled it a fumble. Tech did turn it over twice. One was J-Rod. They're trying to do the Heisman thing. They try to do the jump pass where they, play action, fake like they're going to do quarterback power again or a Wildcat. He did score a Wildcat run, but, maybe clearly now it is because it's going to be the next game's the Big 12 championship and then on, to the playoffs. But maybe they should, that's done. They did what they could to get J-Rod, to New York at least. And he's done what he could. He had a good game defensively as too. A solid game, 4 tackles, half a tackle for loss. Nobody really had just a monster game. Lee Hunter had 2.5 tackles for loss. That's nice. Charles Esters 2 as well, 1.5. Romello Height had a sack and 1.5 sacks with 1.5 tackles for loss. I thought Duda Banks was good. I know he had at least 1 sack. But, there were so many guys played that it wasn't like a high tally of stats for any individual. But in terms of J-Rod with the goal line stuff, obviously in the Big 12 championship, I don't expect to see that unless the game's just completely out of hand. But that's a video for another time. Overall today, tremendous performance. What was that, the 5th win in a row for Texas Tech? Every win this season, all 11 wins, has come by more than 20 points. You had the one blemish, of course, in Tempe, where you had a lead in the final 2 minutes with your backup quarterback. Now, Arizona State deserved that victory. I always want to make sure I point that out. But, dominant regular season performance for Texas Tech. One of, if not the best seasons ever for the Red Raiders. If they end up winning the Big 12 championship next week at Jerry World, then, yeah, it's clearly the best season in Texas Tech history. So, celebrate. Tremendous, performance, tremendous season. And, man, not done yet. It feels like the real season starts now. Going to your first Big 12 championship ever. Opportunity, obviously, to win your first, I think it's the first outright conference championship since, it would be 1955. I think it's either 50 or 55. I think it's 55. It's been 70 years. So a lot of history to be made, that's been made, that's being made, and still on the table to make for Texas Tech and this tremendous team. Trying to think about, obviously with A&M losing at Texas Friday night, Tech, it looks like, and Texas Tech making the statement win it looks clear that Texas Tech will move up into that top 4 spot with the playoff rankings that will come out Tuesday night. And if they win the Big 12 championship, I don't care if it's dominant fashion or a close game, or whatever. They should be a top 4 seed, get that first round bye. Head coach Joey McGuire said, that this team could really use the first round bye, especially with, some of these injuries that have piled up. Sampson's had some tendonitis in his knee. Howard Sampson, the left tackle, and David Bailey went out with something. I'm not sure if I was told it was something with his hand or if that was J-Rod. But you'd like to get all these guys healthy, win the Big 12 championship, hopefully, and then, get that bye week, get an extra week of rest to get everybody ready and, make your preparations and all that. Selfishly, would I like to see a home playoff game here in Lubbock? Absolutely. What a tremendous atmosphere that would be. And, for the businesses here in the community, yes. But clearly the best thing for the team would be to get that bye. Obviously, you're already in the second round. And I already stated the rest for this team, But as we sit right now, top 5, opportunity to move up, go into the Big 12 championship, finish the regular season 11-1, 8-1 in the Big 12. What a tremendous accomplishment for Texas Tech. Just one of the best defenses in the country. I think it's safe to say the best defense in program history. Maybe one of the best defenses probably that the Big 12 has ever seen. And that's saying a lot because there's been some really good defenses in the Big 12, believe it or not. Especially some of those OU and Texas teams in the past, but even I think maybe some early Nebraska teams, stuff like that. So, but I think this Texas Tech defense ranks right up there. So yeah, congratulations to all the Texas Tech fans out there and the team, and on to Jerry World next week. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.